Are you a morning person? I feel like we get that question a lot. And we usually assume it to mean, do you get up super early? Do you like early mornings? I think we are very quick to follow other people's routines, to copy other people's routines. We follow what other people are saying, what other people are doing, because we believe that's probably what's best for us, right? But you might have 3 kids, work 2 jobs, and have absolutely no time for a 2-hour aesthetic morning routine. But that doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't room or space for you to take just a few simple steps in the morning that ensure you're checking in with yourself, tuning in with yourself first thing. Right now, let's get rid of the idea that the only morning routine is when it looks like you're getting up at 5 a.m. You then spend an hour in the gym. You then go for a cold plunge, do a 10-minute journal, etc., etc. The kind of miracle morning routines. But also remember, you smashing the snooze button 5 times, scrolling for 20 minutes, quickly showering, leaving your house in a rush, getting to work, having that super stressful morning. If you were starting every day like that, that is still a morning routine. I wanted to make this video so that anybody and everybody could take something away from it, because I don't think having a morning routine has to be this super bougie thing. I've filmed a lot of bloody morning routines here on this channel, but this video, we're doing it differently. I want to get into the nitty-gritty truth behind how to master your morning routine. Okay, we are starting with the basics. How to actually get yourself out of bed when you do not want to. The simplest stage of our morning routine yet is probably the hardest. I know a lot of people like to put their alarm clock, their phone, in another room, on the other side of their room. Forces you to actually get out of bed, and therefore you're less likely to hit snooze or crawl back into bed. If you're brave enough, just remove the snooze option altogether. Something that works pretty well for me that I love is using a sunrise alarm clock. Mine's actually broken. I got one like a year ago and it broke. Nonetheless, I do need to replace it because it was a godsend, especially in the winter. If you have looked at all into optimizing your morning routine, then I know you would have heard the tip about how important it is to ensure you are getting light in the morning. Direct sunlight is best. If it's the winter, turn on all your lights. I personally always sleep with my blinds open. The difference this makes, allowing me to just wake up a lot more gently, as opposed to in a really dark room with a really harsh alarm sound. Your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm, is hugely influenced by light and darkness. I know for me, having that like harsh iPhone alarm sound going off, instantly it puts me in a bad mood. So I found I would prefer actually waking up to music on Alexa. I'll ask her to wake me up at a certain time to music. What I found is I'm way less likely to just like rush to turn it off. I'll let it play for a moment, and then that allows my brain to actually make a conscious decision of like, oh no, this is your alarm, you got to get up. Most mornings, we don't know what to do with ourselves. If you create yourself a really easy 3-step routine so that your brain doesn't even have to think about it, if you do that enough times, it will become routine. Your body will know that's how to kickstart your day. Whereas, yes, if you go on your phone every day, that becomes an ingrained habit. 5 minutes of silence, 5 minutes of your time. Brush your teeth, make your bed, 2-minute journal. One of my easy 2-minute habits first thing when I get up is to drink my AG1. I am working with AG1 on this next part of the video, so a huge thank you to them for sponsoring. I've spoken about AG1 a lot on this channel because I started taking it over a year ago. So I was in a place where I wanted to start taking like a multivitamin, a supplement, something. As soon as I started researching into it, looking at some brands, it all just got quite confusing. I really didn't know what to take, what was best for me. And something that was super important for me was going with a reputable brand that I could trust. And I had heard amazing things about AG1. AG1 is a comprehensive nutrition supplement. It has 70 high quality ingredients in one scoop. Vitamins, minerals, nutrients, antioxidants, all to support your all-round health. It has been designed to replace you taking multiple supplements in the morning with instead just 1 scoop of AG1, 250 mils of water. Give it a good shake, you're done. It takes 2 minutes, it's that easy. I have said it before, it's such a great way to bridge your nutrient gap. Of course, we want to be getting all the nutrients we can from our diet, but AG1 does help to support your body even more. I see this massively when it comes to my energy and focus levels throughout the day, just generally feeling a lot more balanced. And a big one is immunity levels, helping me feel stronger, helping me feel healthier. Even random one, but hair and nails. I used to have acrylics all the time, but right now I just have gel on. My nails are feeling super healthy, they're feeling super strong. They are absolutely backed by science, a product you can trust. So take control of your health routine today and get a 1-year supply of vitamin D plus 5 individual travel packs, all of that for free with your first purchase. I'll have the link on the screen right now, but you can also find it in the description bar. So try them out. A huge thank you to AG1 for sponsoring. Like I said, brush the teeth, make the bed, AG1. All of that takes me about 5 minutes, but it's good to have a reason to get up. You don't need to be in the mindset of like when you were a kid and you were excited for Christmas morning. It doesn't need to be like that. Let's face it, most days you're not all that excited to get up, but challenge yourself to 3 easy steps. Similar kind of thing if you're somebody who wants to get up a little bit earlier. I think we're fed the message all the time that to have this productive routine, you need to be getting up like 2 hours earlier, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Like that is just not it. It's honestly, if you're not getting your 8 hours sleep, it is not worth it. It is not healthy. I think focus your energy more on not getting up at the absolute last minute you have to, so that you're now in a rush for the whole morning, even if it's half an hour. And you can do that in stages. Set your alarm 10 minutes earlier one day, the next day 15. Do it gradually. Oh, another little tip that helps me, play music in the morning. If you want to blast music, if you're maybe a bit more like me and you want to romanticize your morning, play some jazz, have your morning coffee. Okay, another thing that helps me get out of bed is ice rolling my face first thing. I am never going to be that person who does a cold plunge in the morning. I don't think so anyway. Or even cold showers. It's not for me. This is my equivalent, and it might sound bougie. A bit of ice rolling obviously has like skincare benefits. You're closing your pores, all of that lymphatic drainage, like all those nice things. But genuinely, that's not enough to get me out of bed. Ice rolling or even splashing your face with cold water is a really effective way to wake your senses up. I want to talk about habit stacking. Habit stacking is something that can massively help you, especially when first starting out. It's essentially a productivity and habit formation technique where you build new habits by stacking them with existing ones. Brushing teeth, for example, I hope that's something we all remember to do in the morning. You know, find that thing that you know you're never going to forget. And then if you're trying to incorporate a new healthy habit, maybe it's a 5-minute yoga, it's taking your supplements, have it attached to that habit so that you remember to always do it. I know like leaving your yoga mat out is annoying. It might not look nice in your living room, but if you do that for like the first couple of weeks until it feels more ingrained in your routine, that's a good little trick. The power of accountability is a really interesting one. We talk about that a lot with like fitness. If you're trying to go to the gym, you might cling onto a workout buddy. I think it can also help with if you're trying to get up a bit earlier or change the habits of your morning routine. You could do it with your partner. Weirdly enough, it's been filming. And I'm not necessarily recommending this to everyone because that's not realistic at all. Just saying, from my experience, this has been it. I live in a flat that like faces the sunrise, and so getting up to film that has always been a big motivator. Maybe it's like you want to post the sunrise on your Instagram story, I don't know. Or signing up to be part of like a morning running club. Another big one is literally just signing yourself up for a workout class. I want to talk about mindfulness and the effects of practicing gratitude in the morning. Power behind even just 5 minutes of mindfulness. And I think this hugely applies to people who live really busy lives and usually don't have time for themselves. We live in a world where it's almost really hard to connect with ourselves. Regular practice of gratitude isn't just about reducing anxiety levels, stress levels. When I fit that into my morning, my head feels a lot clearer throughout the day, which kind of helps me perform better at work, or it helps with decision making. A kind of trap, or not trap, but something I would do before that just didn't really work for me, was we see the journal prompt a lot that's like, just list 3-5 things you're grateful for. And I'd always end up just like closing the book. I wasn't in the mood. I then switched my mindset. So I would tell myself, it can just be one thing I am so profoundly grateful for. And it doesn't matter if it's the same thing every day. I don't have to force myself to come up with something new every day. It's genuinely just what comes to me in the moment. Something that feels natural, it feels instinctive. I also guarantee you though, when you get in the habit of that, it won't be the same thing that comes up every day, because you're training your mind to think that way. Essentially training your mind to live a little bit more intentionally. Practicing little moments of solitude in the morning are so great for that. It's no wonder that we are so overwhelmed all the time. We are just fed so much information left, right, and center all day on our phones, on the news. You can't escape it. I'm not saying not to engage with the news, but sometimes you're in control. If for that first hour of your day, you don't want to be engaged with Instagram, Twitter, news headlines, that's okay, because we spend the rest of our day giving so much to other people. Movement. Okay, I have been a way happier person since I have incorporated movement into my morning. Now, I used to tell myself that going to the gym would make me tired later on, and therefore if I had like a really demanding day, I had a really busy day coming up, it was so easy to excuse, no, I don't have time for that in the morning. I'll do that on a quieter day. Thanks. It wasn't until I actually got into the habit of it that I was like, oh no, this actually really energizes me. And not just that, like I would then sleep better at night and just have a way better sleep cycle. This applies to me. I know a lot of people go to the gym in the morning and then they feel groggy all day, and that's fair enough. Also, do not set it up so that you expect yourself to show up at the gym every single morning. But a way more realistic expectation to set for yourself is making time for some sort of movement before you sit down at your desk. It could be walking to work if that's possible, going out walking your dog. That's a big one for me. If you have a little yoga mat, or you don't even need one, switch on a YouTube video and do a yoga stretch. Look at what you are consuming in the morning. Like I said, kind of tuning into social media and negative news headlines early on, it really can take a toll on your mental health. So something I've been trying to do instead, because let's face it, like it'd be nice to have your whole morning in silence, but I know I like to be stimulated when I'm doing the dishes, when I'm making my breakfast. I would love to be able to do that in silence, but I just can't. So instead of choosing to just be scrolling through TikTok or whatever, I will put on a podcast by someone who I know really inspires me, someone I really look up to, or about a topic that I want to learn more about. When it comes to breakfast, I know some people don't make time for it. Some people like to fast. Whatever works for you, I think it's trial and error. I know I just function better with a high protein breakfast. I think I function better when I have a savory one. Key is not to be too ambitious here. Like I do not want it to take more than 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, like on a weekend, or if I'm filming it and I'm trying to make something nice. But yeah, studies have really shown that eating breakfast in the morning is associated with improved cognitive function. Basically, I know that for like that first chunk of the day, I'm not thinking about how I'm hungry and I can't wait for lunch. My recommendation is have like 3 go-to recipes that you know are yummy, you're excited to make, and they do not take long at all. You guys know I love a little bit of morning planning. So you've done your morning routine, you're sitting down for work, you've got to the office and you're planning your day, your work day. Tell me if this is you. You get to the end of the day and you have never managed to complete your to-do list. Girl, we got to change that. Create a system that means you actually get to the end of your to-do list, and so you can call that day a win. The biggest tip I have for this is make sure every day you have 2 to 3 things that are your priorities, the most important things that you have to do in order to call today a win. I was in such a rut of just writing out these really long to-do lists. I would never see the end of them. I would also miss things because I would just move on to the next one. So you end your day then thinking about everything you didn't achieve, completely dismissing what you did actually manage to do. And we are so hardwired to think negatively. It makes it way harder to relax in the evening, to enjoy your evening, to actually wind down for the day. Also, when you're looking at a to-do list that's just like really long, has zero structure to it, I find it way harder to actually get started. Or if I do get started, I'll pick the really easy tasks that don't take that long, but I will spend time on them. This is a form of procrastination. Don't just make your top priorities work related. You would be surprised what good it does you actually putting stuff in there that you're excited to do, or stuff that you know is good for you. So it might be like a little evening walk, reading 10 pages of my book, whatever. When structuring your day, use a planner you like, whether it's paper, whether it's digital, and just spend 5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's all. I'll write down every single thing, like a brain dump basically, that I know I need to do. Don't just think about the personal chores, the errands, and all the work things you have to do. Actually put in the fun things. So if you know you're going to the cinema tonight, like include that. I swear this does something to your brain where you then look at the list and you don't just resent it like straight away. I will then section them into whatever makes sense for that day. So if it's priorities, quick ticks, sometimes I'll do like my personal list. If it's a really jam-packed day, I will time block it. Yeah, all these strategies can really help you. Without a night routine, you can forget your morning routine. But how you unwind for the evening and set yourself up for the next day is just as important as everything we've just spoken about. Look at your environment in the evening. Romanticize it. Like, put on the nice sleep sounds, turn on your cozy lighting, turn off all those overhead lights. I've heard exposure to red light in the evening really helps to put you in that sleepy mood. Create a screenless place. I mean, like, if you want to watch Netflix in the evening, like, please, that is what I'm getting up to every single evening. But get rid of the laptop. If you can, stay off your phone. No one really needs you at 10 p.m. Huge one is, and I can't believe I haven't mentioned it yet, your sleep schedule. I know how life is. Like, one night you might be meeting a friend, you get home at midnight, bam, your schedule is off. Do not beat yourself up about it, but when you can, do get your body into that rhythm of going to bed at the same time and then waking up at the same time. There are also little things you can do to ensure you get a good night's sleep. So like cutting off your caffeine intake after 3 p.m, whatever. I mean, I find for me 5 p.m. is probably the latest I can have it. Stop setting yourself up to fail by setting 5 alarms. That's you telling yourself already, like, oh, I don't trust myself to get up with the first alarm. Do little things to help yourself out. If you want to go to the gym tomorrow morning, put your gym clothes out. Okay, so if you want to make changes, try it. Try some of these habits just for 7 days. Promise to yourself you'll give it a go. If some of them don't stick and you don't want to do them after, it's not for you, and that's fair, but you tried. I think the knowledge of it is interesting. Like, we know these things are healthy for us, but we still don't do them. That's when discipline gets involved, obviously. I think it might be a fun little video to film like a week of attempting my most perfect morning routine every single day. I've been here rambling at you about all these things you should do with your morning, but please don't look at me and think that I do these every single day. Do not expect things to change overnight either. You don't want to overwhelm yourself with making a bunch of changes. Again, it's about tuning in with yourself and just feeling more in control. I hope this video was useful and just felt manageable. I know I love filming a 3-hour aesthetic morning routine, but for different reasons, and that's why I really wanted to film this, where we just realistically talk about how to make small changes that will massively impact your morning routine and therefore the rest of your day. But yeah, I had a lot of fun brainstorming this one, and thank you for tuning in. I will see you guys in the next video. Sending all my love. Mwah.